We're here in Toronto at Bombardier's aircraft assembly facility for the entry into service of the Global 8000.
And following an incredible year of milestones, we are thrilled to have reached the entry into service of the fastest, most innovative business aircraft in the world.
What if the future of luxury aviation isn't the $75 million Gulfstream G700 or the legendary Bombardier Global 8000?
Bombardier unveiled what it's calling the world's fastest business jet today. This is the Global 8000 aircraft, the new high-speed luxury plane with a range of nearly 15,000 kilometers.
But a helicopter that can think for itself? For decades, private jets have been the ultimate symbol of wealth, speed, and status. Yet a quiet revolution is unfolding above the world's most exclusive cities. Helicopters like the Sikorsky S-92 and Bell 525 are eliminating the need for airports altogether, while a military-developed AI system is learning to fly, react, and make critical decisions faster than any human pilot. At the same time, silent electric aircraft are preparing to transform elite travel forever.
Electric aircraft are turning heads. Right behind me is Beta's Aliyah CX-300 aircraft. We're going to be hearing from the company's founder, Kyle Clark, about what they're doing to bring this to market.
The race to redefine private aviation has already begun, and most people don't even know it's happening. So what really happened, and what does the evidence reveal? Let's explore the story. Flying without friction. There is a version of helicopter travel that most people know, the small, noisy, slightly terrifying experience of a tourist flight over a city, or the news chopper circling overhead during rush hour. And then there is a completely different category of machine that exists in an entirely separate universe. One where the cabin has stand-up headroom, the seats are plush leather with genuine legroom, the windows are large and clear, and the experience of flight feels less like transportation and more like a statement about what kind of person you are and how seriously you take your time. The Sikorsky S-92 sits at the absolute pinnacle of this world. Starting at approximately $27 million, the S-92 is the helicopter that heads of state from 10 different countries.
This is new S-92 Sikorsky helicopter. It's replacing the old S-91. It's a huge asset in terms of its capability. It's got greater range, it's got greater endurance, it can fly in any weather conditions, it's got a de-icing system, it's got greater room inside for casualties.
Have chosen as their official aircraft. A short list that should tell you everything about the level of confidence the machine inspires in people whose security teams vet every detail of their travel arrangements. The cabin stands full height, genuine stand-up space, with configurations for up to 19 passengers, and a level of acoustic engineering that makes normal conversation possible without raising your voice. 14 large windows, a full-height executive lavatory, swinging captain chairs, optional VIP armor, wireless high-speed connectivity, an avionics suite that would be impressive on a well-equipped business jet. And then there is the detail that puts everything else into perspective. The United States Marine Corps selected a customized version of the S-92 as the new Marine One, the helicopter that carries the President of the United States. In 2025, Sikorsky delivered 2 S-92A aircraft to head-of-state customers in Asia and the Middle East. The S-92A Plus, the latest variant,
twin Sikorsky S-92A, helicopter lessor Milestone Aviation has partnered with Australia's Helitac to equip the helicopter for firefighting.
is now entering production at Sikorsky's Stratford facility, standardizing every new aircraft around upgraded systems and enhanced performance. When the most powerful governments on Earth agree on a machine, that agreement carries meaning. For those whose requirements are more intimate, 8 passengers instead of 19, a more agile footprint for rooftop and estate landings. The Sikorsky S-76D occupies a different position in the hierarchy of luxury rotorcraft.
Sikorsky has recently received FAA and EASA certification for the S-76D, the successor to the S-76C++.
At approximately $15 million, it has spent decades as the preferred aircraft of executives and celebrities who understand that the S-76 represents the intersection of performance and discretion. 178 miles per hour, a digital glass cockpit, a cabin that has been described accurately as the closest thing in the helicopter world to the interior of a premium business aircraft. Bell's answer to the ultra-luxury segment is the 525 Relentless, a machine that earns its name at every level. Starting at approximately $20 million, it carries 16 passengers in a cabin configured with the sensibility of a flying lounge rather than a transport vehicle. The flight deck is a Garmin G5000H touchscreen glass cockpit, the first touchscreen design built specifically for helicopters, giving the crew a situational awareness that was simply not possible in previous generations of rotorcraft. A full fly-by-wire flight control system replaces conventional mechanical linkages with electronic commands, adding a layer of precision and redundancy that fundamentally changes how the aircraft responds. The windows are electrochromic. They tint on demand, controlled from a paired smartphone. A limousine-style privacy partition allows VIP conversations without headsets, Wi-Fi throughout. 629 nautical miles of range. Airbus entered this conversation from a different angle entirely. The ACH 130 Aston Martin edition begins at approximately $5.8 million and seats 7 passengers inside a cabin that Airbus and Aston Martin designed together, the interior referencing the leather, the stitching, and the material language of an Aston Martin sports car. It is the helicopter as fashion object, as collaboration between two industries that both traffic in the idea that how you travel says something about who you are. For those who prefer access over ownership, the luxury charter market provides a different kind of entry point. Operators like HeliFlight run fleets of S-76 and AW-139 helicopters.
The AW-139 search and rescue helicopter, it's one of the faster aircraft. You can get to most jobs quite quickly. It can cruise along at a speed that some other aircraft are working a little bit harder to get up to. You can get on scene that much quicker.
On demand for clients whose schedules do not accommodate advanced planning. Manhattan to the Hamptons in 35 minutes at approximately $6,200 per hour for the largest platforms is not transportation. It is time arbitrage. The HeliCard program for billionaire frequent flyers who want guaranteed availability 365 days a year with a prepaid hourly structure is the helicopter equivalent of a fractional jet card. The machine changes. The principle is identical. Time is the only resource money cannot replace, and these aircraft exist to give it back. The question of why the ultra-wealthy choose helicopters over private jets for certain journeys comes down to a concept that sounds simple, but is rarely discussed clearly: friction. The private jet is extraordinary at what it does, covering distances of thousands of miles in comfort at speeds no helicopter can approach. But the private jet requires an airport. It requires the choreography of FBOs and ground transportation and slot times, and the particular administrative overhead of commercial aviation infrastructure. The helicopter eliminates all of that for journeys of a different scale. A rooftop in Manhattan, a yacht deck anchored off the coast, an estate in the countryside with a landing pad 50 yards from the front door. The helicopter does not reduce the friction of elite travel. It eliminates it entirely. And for the people who understand that distinction, the choice is not complicated. The secret every helicopter pilot knows: every piece of marketing material produced for the luxury helicopter market shares a particular quality. The photographs are extraordinary. The cabins look like the interior of a 5-star hotel suite, suspended improbably above a coastline or a mountain range or a city at sunset. The specifications are presented with the confidence of machines that have solved every problem worth solving. And there is a truth that runs underneath all of it. A truth that the people who fly these aircraft know intimately, and that the brochures never quite find a way to mention. The helicopter is one of the most demanding flying machines ever built, not because of poor engineering, because of physics. A conventional aircraft, a business jet, a commercial airliner, generates lift through forward motion. As long as it is moving, its wings are working. If the engines fail, the aircraft glides. The pilot has time, options, miles of airspace in which to make decisions and manage the situation. The history of aviation is full of moments where that margin, that window of grace that forward motion and fixed wings provide, saved lives that would otherwise have been lost. The helicopter does not have that margin. It generates lift not from forward motion, but from rotor blades spinning at hundreds of revolutions per minute, generating a force so violent it can lift tons off the ground with nothing below it. Stop those blades, or interrupt the complex mechanical chain that keeps them spinning, and the aircraft does not glide. It falls. The pilot does not have minutes. The pilot has seconds. And those seconds are spent managing a situation that is, by any honest measure, one of the most demanding scenarios in all of aviation. Consider what it actually requires to fly a helicopter in normal conditions, on a clear day, with everything functioning perfectly. 3 completely independent control systems must be managed simultaneously. The cyclic stick, which tilts the rotor disc to produce directional movement. The collective lever, which changes the pitch of all rotor blades simultaneously to climb or descend. And the anti-torque pedals, which control the tail rotor. The mechanism that prevents the fuselage from spinning in the opposite direction of the main rotor. All 3, simultaneously, all the time, while navigating, while communicating, while monitoring a full instrument panel, while maintaining situational awareness of terrain, weather, and other aircraft. The statistics that emerge from this complexity are sobering. Non-scheduled helicopter operations recurred accident rates significantly higher than comparable fixed-wing operations. The causes cluster around a small number of recurring themes, and the most common among them is not mechanical failure. It is human factors, pilot error, spatial disorientation, the terrifying experience of losing track of which way is up, a phenomenon that does not discriminate by experience level or total flight hours. Loss of situational awareness, the human brain encountering demands that exceed what evolution prepared it for. This is not a criticism of the machines. The S-92 and the Bell 525 and the S-76 are extraordinary aircraft, engineered to standards that the aviation industry has never exceeded. But the machine can only do so much. For 80 years, the helicopter placed ultimate responsibility on the human inside it. And for 80 years, the gap between what the machine could do and what the human could reliably manage in extreme circumstances produced outcomes that no amount of luxury interior design could obscure. That is the secret, and it is precisely the secret that a group of engineers decided, at some point in the last decade, they were no longer willing to accept. There is a particular phenomenon that pilots and aviation safety researchers call controlled flight into terrain. It is exactly what it sounds like. A fully functional aircraft, flown by a qualified pilot, that flies into the ground or a mountainside not because of mechanical failure, but because the person at the controls did not know where the ground was. Spatial disorientation, the loss of the accurate sense of orientation in space that the inner ear normally provides, is the silent mechanism behind a significant portion of these events. It is not a failure of skill. It is a failure of biology. The human vestibular system was not designed to operate in the visual conditions and motion dynamics of rotary wing, flight at night, in weather, or in degraded visibility. The brain makes assumptions. The assumptions are wrong. And by the time the instruments correct the picture, there is sometimes nothing left to do. This is the problem that engineers and AI researchers decided at some specific moment they were no longer willing to accept as inevitable. The co-pilot that never blinks. In September of 2025, something significant happened at Sikorsky's headquarters in Stratford.
Based Sikorsky aircraft. Just a short time ago, the Pentagon announced Sikorsky's biggest deal ever to build helicopters for the Marine.
Connecticut, and almost nobody in the luxury aviation world noticed it. The company demonstrated its Matrix autonomy system on an S-76 commercial helicopter, not a military aircraft, not a prototype. An S-76, the same platform that has been carrying executives and celebrities between cities and estates for decades. The same machine sitting in HeliFlight's fleet right now, waiting for the next Manhattan to Hampton's booking. Matrix is the product of a decade-long collaboration between Sikorsky, a division of Lockheed Martin, and DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, the American institution responsible for producing some of the most consequential technological breakthroughs of the last 70 years. The goal of that collaboration was to produce something that had never existed before, a helicopter that could read its environment, anticipate threats, make decisions, and execute them. in the time it takes a human pilot to register that something is wrong. What Matrix actually does in practical terms is this. It surrounds the aircraft with sensor awareness that no human can match. It knows where the terrain is at all times, in daylight and darkness, in weather that grounds every other aircraft in the fleet. It identifies obstacles, trees, power lines, other aircraft, structures, and initiates avoidance maneuvers in milliseconds, before the pilot's nervous system has even processed the visual information. It detects potential landing zones autonomously, evaluates their suitability, and can guide the aircraft to a safe landing without the pilot having to find one visually. And it reacts to developing situations 30 times faster than a human can consciously respond. The system operates in 3 modes. In the first, a pilot is fully in command and Matrix functions as an intelligent co-pilot, watching, analyzing, ready to intervene in scenarios where human reaction time is insufficient. In the second, a remote operator on the ground controls the aircraft through a digital interface, with Matrix managing the complexity of rotary wing flight that would otherwise require years of specialized training. In the third, the aircraft executes its mission without any human input at all, autonomous from departure to arrival. 3 modes, 1 aircraft, switchable in flight. The significance of the S-76 demonstration in September 2025 cannot be overstated for anyone thinking about where luxury helicopter aviation is heading. The S-76 is not a military testbed. It is a civilian platform with decades of operational history in the most demanding commercial and private aviation markets in the world. Demonstrating Matrix on that platform, validating that the technology works not just on Black Hawks over Army test ranges, but on the specific aircraft that luxury operators fly their clients in, was a signal that the technology is moving from military operational use toward the civilian world. Matrix has now been validated on 21 different aircraft, ranging from small autonomous drones to large helicopter platforms. The path from that validation to FAA certification for civilian autonomous and optionally piloted operations is not instantaneous. Regulatory frameworks for this technology are still being developed and refined. But the engineering is real, the demonstrations are public, and the timeline is compressing faster than most observers expected. What does Matrix mean for the passenger in the back of a luxury S-76 or S-92? It means that the most common causes of helicopter accidents, spatial disorientation, terrain awareness failure, loss of situational awareness, are no longer entirely dependent on the human at the controls. It means that the aircraft has its own intelligence, its own awareness, its own capacity to catch errors before they become incidents. It means that the machine is no longer just a vehicle, it is a partner. And when the partnership is working at its best, the result is something that approaches, though never quite reaches, the idea of a helicopter that cannot crash. The business case for bringing this technology into the civilian luxury aviation market is not difficult to construct. The leading causes of helicopter accidents, spatial disorientation, controlled flight into terrain, loss of situational awareness, are precisely the failure modes that Matrix was engineered to neutralize. A system that never becomes spatially disoriented, that always knows exactly where the terrain is, regardless of visibility conditions, that identifies obstacles and initiates avoidance responses faster than human perception can register the threat. For the operator of a luxury helicopter fleet, the commercial argument is obvious. A safety technology that directly addresses the risk categories that produce the accidents, that produce the liability, the reputation damage, and the human costs that no luxury brand can afford. For the passenger in the back, the argument is simpler still. The experience of the flight does not change. The invisible margin of safety behind it does. The quiet revolution in the sky. There is a conversation happening right now in the offices of family offices and private wealth managers and ultra-high net worth lifestyle advisors that sounds, to anyone not already plugged into this world, almost implausible. The conversation is not about yachts or wine cellars or private island memberships. It is about wait lists for aircraft that will begin flying paying passengers in some of the world's most exclusive cities before this year is over. The aircraft is the eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing. And what is happening in Dubai right now is the clearest evidence yet that this Technology has crossed from promise into operational reality.
Today we're participating here at the Dubai Air Show, and we're very thrilled to be participating with the first ever eVTOL flying display.
In June of 2025, Joby Aviation's pre-production aircraft completed the first piloted eVTOL flight ever conducted in the United Arab Emirates. Not a controlled demonstration, but a full piloted transition between two distinct locations in the city. By August, Joby had completed 21 test missions of varying profiles across the Emirate. By November 2025, a landmark point-to-point flight between two separate vertiport locations was completed, and the company announced the next vertiport sites in its expanding Dubai network, including Dubai Downtown, Dubai Marina, and Palm Jumeirah. The infrastructure is being built in real time.
Exclusive in Dubai to provide air taxi service, and our target is to launch that service by the end of next year.
A vertiport at Dubai International Airport, one of the busiest aviation hubs on Earth, was scheduled for completion in the first quarter of 2026. Joby holds a 6-year exclusive agreement with Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority, giving the company the operational rights to launch what the RTA itself has described as the world's first commercial air taxi service. That is not a marketing line. It is the stated goal of a government institution that has made this a national priority and that has already committed the physical infrastructure to support it. Joby's aircraft carries 4 passengers up to 100 miles on a single charge using 6 tilting propellers that point upward for vertical takeoff and then rotate forward for cruise flight. The transition from helicopter mode to airplane mode happening in one seamless movement. It operates at a noise level so far below a conventional helicopter that describing them as comparable would be genuinely misleading. The acoustic footprint that has always been the helicopter's most significant social compromise, the sound that announces its presence to an entire neighborhood, is essentially eliminated. The capital behind this technology reflects the seriousness with which the world's most sophisticated investors are approaching it. Toyota invested $500 million in Joby, in addition to $394 million committed in 2020. Total raised $2.6 billion. And the most strategically revealing move, Joby acquired Blade Air Mobility, the luxury helicopter service operating short-distance routes in New York and Southern Europe, for $125 million, not for Blade's aircraft, for Blade's customers. The people currently paying for Manhattan helicopter service are exactly the people who will pay for eVTOL service when it becomes available on those same routes. The range of 100 miles is frequently cited as a limitation. That framing entirely misses the point. Manhattan to the Hamptons is approximately 90 miles. Dubai city center to Palm Jumeirah is less than 10. The 100-mile specification is not a constraint. It is a design choice built precisely around the journeys the ultra-wealthy are already taking at a noise level no conventional rotor system can approach. The waitlists forming right now are not speculative positioning. They are the early access decisions of people who understand that when this technology arrives in their city, the allocation will not simply be available to whoever has the most money. It will belong to whoever moved first, beyond the private jet. Somewhere in the convergence of these developments, the $27 million flying palace, with presidential credentials, the AI system that can fly itself when the situation demands it,
Berlin Labs wants to eventually fly your plane for you.
Pilot flying is not human, but artificial intelligence.
And the electric aircraft that is weeks away from commercial service in Dubai, a question is forming that did not have a serious answer 5 years ago. Is the autonomous luxury helicopter replacing the private jet? The honest answer is not yet. But the more interesting answer is, for a specific category of journey, it already has. The private jet is extraordinary at what it does. It covers distances that no helicopter can approach in comparable time. It offers cabin space and range that vertical aviation cannot match. For a transatlantic crossing or a coast-to-coast journey, there is no competition. The jet wins on every metric. But the private jet requires an airport. It requires a runway. It requires the infrastructure of commercial aviation, the scheduling of FBOs, the management of flight plans and slot times, and ground transportation on both ends of the journey. It is, despite its considerable advantages, a system with significant friction built into it. The luxury helicopter eliminates that friction for journeys of a different scale. The S-92, with its stand-up cabin and its Marine One credentials,
Era Group recently became the first operator to take advantage of a new version of Sikorsky's S-92 helicopter.
Operates from a rooftop, from a yacht deck, from an estate landing pad, from a hospital helipad. It does not need a runway. It does not require an FBO. The journey from a Manhattan penthouse to a Hamptons estate takes 35 minutes door to door, not terminal to terminal, but door to door. The friction is not reduced. It is eliminated. Add matrix autonomy to that calculation, and the safety conversation shifts meaningfully. The technology does not make these aircraft invulnerable. Nothing in aviation can make that claim. But it directly addresses the failure modes that have historically made helicopter travel statistically more hazardous than fixed-wing alternatives. Obstacle avoidance in milliseconds, terrain awareness in zero visibility, the ability to complete a landing safely in circumstances that would overwhelm human perception and reaction. For the passenger in the back of a matrix-equipped S-76, the experience of the flight does not change visibly. What changes is the margin of safety operating invisibly behind it. And then there is the eVTOL question. Joby's aircraft, quieter than any helicopter currently in service, carrying 4 passengers up to 100 miles, launching commercial operations in Dubai within the year, represents something that the luxury aviation market has never had before. A vertical aircraft with the noise signature of a large drone rather than a conventional rotor system. The social license that has always been the helicopter's most complicated negotiation. The noise, the disruption, the visual intrusion largely disappears. An aircraft that can operate from urban locations that conventional helicopters cannot access, carrying the same passengers in the same comfort, becomes a fundamentally different proposition. What the ultra-wealthy who understand this technology are quietly doing is not choosing between these options. They are positioning for all of them. The S-92 for trips that require range and capacity, and the absolute assurance that comes with a machine the US president flies in. The Bell 525 for corporate group travel with the flexibility of a flying conference room. The eVTOL allocation for the urban journeys that prioritize speed, silence, and the particular satisfaction of being among the first people in a city to travel this way regularly. The helicopter has always been, at its finest, the most time-efficient machine ever built for short to medium distance travel. What is happening now, the AI, the autonomy, the electrification, is not replacing that promise. It is fulfilling it more completely than the technology has ever been able to do before. The question every serious private aviation client is asking right now is not whether to be involved in this transition. It is whether to be involved early, while the wait lists are still open and the access is still available, or to wait until everyone else has already arrived. The S-92 that carries presidents. The Bell 525 with smartphone-controlled windows and a flying lounge cabin. The Joby eVTOL crossing Dubai in near silence before this year ends. And underneath all of it, an AI reading terrain, avoiding obstacles, reacting faster than any pilot can. Helicopter travel at the elite level has always offered something extraordinary. What is happening right now is making it safer, quieter, and more exclusive than ever before. Would you fly in a helicopter that lands itself, or do you still want a pilot in the seat? Tell us in the comments. Subscribe. The next chapter of private aviation is already being written.